Welcome back. Another episode of Unranked Podcast. You have your hosts, Grant and Elijah. Come back to you here. What we're going to do today, I was going to lightly touch on Michigan's last non-conference matchups. Obviously, they handled them pretty quick, pretty easily. So it's not a whole lot necessary to dive into that too much. And then we'll go ahead and roll into Big Ten play and just talk a little about Rutgers. Also going to do something similar for the Lions. Touch on the Chiefs win. That one's feels like ways away from now.
Yes.
Touch on the most
Many
recent,
day ago. Yeah.
right? Yeah, touch on the most recent matchup this past Sunday, and talk about what the matchup with the Falcons look like this weekend. So, yeah, so we'll throw it over to you, E. Yeah, just kind of kick things off. What do you think about Michigan's last two non-conference games overall in a nutshell?
Yeah, I would say, if I had to try to summarize it, not too sexy, not too scary. It's like one of those just I
Yeah.
think we're making flashes where you see flashes in the offense where you think, okay, this is where we're headed. You see JJ make a great throw. You see Blake things pre-injury of last year. And then you see, the defense being the defense. And then you
Mm-hmm.
see flashes of JJ looking like horrific quarterbacks you've had throughout the last couple of years. Not as much space and movement on the line as you would like from time to time. So I think just a kind of a mixed bag, but I think we got the job done. Our CEO at the helm, as far as Jim Harbaugh, was missing, MIA, being chain gang for his own kids, sitting on the couch, hanging out with the other coaches suspended. I mean, when you think of the head coach and like the two coordinators, assistants under them. I mean, we were playing musical chairs with two of them missing um, in various roles through the first couple of games.
Yeah.
Obviously, self-imposed from the college, but overall, I would just say a little more to be desired. And I'm hoping that Harbaugh coming back in, just with that sideline presence, maybe the couple of different adjustments that he would make with his eyes that they're not seeing, will
Mm-hmm.
make that much more of a difference. Is kind of my plan here, my goal, and obviously not to jump too far ahead, but heading into Big Ten play, we have to reel in and really sharpen our tools so we can begin to make that statement run towards another Big Ten championship, towards another outing with Ohio. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you hit a lot of the things on the head as far as just what it looks like. I feel like, some of the key takeaways, I think, you know, JJ's night and day difference just in the passing game. As far as just how comfortable he looked, just consistent up until that third game. And, that was kind of, frustrating to see, but I just kind of chopped that up to just what you already hit on, like musical chairs, just with the coordinators or coaches. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think it's kind of funny if you think about just like how much how like Harbaugh, just knowing like Harbaugh, like how he just was even thought that this is what he wanted to like kind of do. I mean, obviously like there's some guys on there that are like head coaches, but like and will be in the future. But he was also just like, I mean, these are what these teams are gonna look like. We have the flexibility to do this. So it's I'm not, I wasn't really hitting the panic button or anything on like a whole lot of stuff. You obviously wanted to see like the run game, look a little bit more crisp. But I think it is just interesting, like it is what it can look like when the top dogs, not around. But I think that we just did a good job of keeping everybody healthy. I think a lot of guys that may, can see some time just kind of based on like injury situations, whatever they look like later in the season, got them some key reps. And but yeah, like I said, I'm with you. You would have liked to see a little more clean, score 45, 50. Just really like put it on a
Yeah.
team just to like, really would have been nice to come out churning. But I just feel like Harbaugh was just like, we just going,
Yeah, I
take
do think the overall message must have been, hey, just no mistakes. Kind
Mhm.
of we're not even doing Michigan like things. I mean, I think our playbook has been pretty vanilla. Um,
Mhm.
Early, I think it was that first game, or maybe I think it was the first game where they were just stuffing us on the run, and then I think we just opened it up. But I think our thought was we're going to go in here and just be as vanilla and bland as possible. And
Mm-hmm.
the coaches that were at the helm had to make some adjustments accordingly. And I think that's why JJ started slanging it around. And we were happy about that. But just looking at his stats here, I'm not to jump on him too much, but he only had 5 picks all of last year. And he already has
Yeah.
3 this year. That's
Yeah.
semi-alarming. He has 12 incompletions, but 3 of them are picks. So, yeah, you're completing 83% of your balls, but when you're making a mistake, you're making a big one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of just something you need to rail in. And I think him having that growing pain throughout that game, I think he'll know. I'd rather that happen versus Bowling Green than any Big Ten school. I know we said that right before we hopped on, but that's true. 3 interception game versus 70% of the Big Ten is a loss.
Yeah.
And I think he has to just quite remember how valuable that ball is, and just when to take risk, when not. I understand one of them might not have been his fault, but even 2 in the game versus Bowling Green is unacceptable.
Yeah,
so,
no, that's right.
Yeah.
Like one, you're kind of like,
yeah, hey, what you doing here?
We won the red zone. Like that was kind of like, okay, you know what I mean? And then you had the one where the receiver ran like the route wrong, what they said on the telecast, or just what they're kind of communicating about. But then that last one, just running around, throwing it up, down the sideline. Guy made a great play too, but it's just like, that's not necessary. It's like, what can we check it down? Can we, do a couple other things?
Tucking and run, get a few. Yeah.
Right. Because you want to be perfect. It's 12 games. So you don't even want to, like, if they happen, but like you said, it's good to just really like tighten them up. From here on out, we can't be giving the ball away like that.
100%. And you don't want to create bad habits. A throw, back running for your life behind the line of scrimmage, finding an open receiver in the middle of the field, 30 yards downfield. That might be a good play versus Bowling Green. And it might be a good play later on in the season as well. But if you get used to that, you can do anything you want mentality, that's going to begin to cost you when you begin to play higher quality competition. And I think what I'm looking forward to moving in this week with the Big Ten opener versus Rutgers at home. Oddly enough, I feel like we play Rutgers at home every single time we play them. But
do you feel like it?
Not recall again. Obviously, it must have been last year, but I can't recall going to Rutgers. But regardless, home game versus Rutgers. They're 3-0. Got a couple victories worth talking about it on their belt. Got a Big Ten victory already in Northwestern. Cleaned up some mid-major, and then there's circle back with Virginia Tech. Knocked them off last week. I think you said this before we hopped on, just how physical they can be, and how that's gonna be something that we got to realize and come to play as well. Kind of, time to wake up.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I think this is going to be a nice little test out the gate. Like I said, I like how last season kind of unfolded, having Maryland, they're like the mid tier, the Big Ten. I think, they compete. It's a tough, like, side of the division, and they still, find ways to bowl games. Iowa, we already know what they do. So I like just, this is a nice, fresh off of a little bit of a shaky non-conference game to kind of, wrap that up and, really get, some good welcome to the Big Ten play with a physical football team that, I remember last year they was, knocking JJ around a little bit. Like he took some shots and, it just looked like he was kind of struggling a little bit to get up and stuff here and there. And, and that, helped him, woke him up and helped him, play a better game in the second half. And I'm just looking forward to seeing what we're going to look like. It's a year later. JJ's more comfortable in the offense, and I think that we're gonna, with the the head ball coach back at the helm. I think this is going to be like now it's time to really get down to business type of. I can see it being a statement game for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to say too. I think we'll look to kind of correct the ship a little bit. I imagine. Well, maybe has Harbaugh been involved in practices, or he was suspended for that as well? I'm not even sure, to be honest.
Yeah, he's involved in practice. He just couldn't be there
on
the game.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So that was going to kind of undermine my point, but I was going to say just him even knowing that the head coach is back on the sideline, those in-game adjustments, additional set of eyes, I think all that's good. And I think a statement game this week, looking to kind of button up some of the mistakes. JJ, let's have a perfect game here. Let's get Blake and Donovan Edwards both busy. Let's can we both have them in the 75 North yards? Just to kind of establish some of the things that we're going to want to do week in and week out. And that's pound the rock with both of them boys. That's play action. I got to tip my hat to Roman Wilson. He's looking phenomenal this year.
Without a doubt.
And we talked about how we want a deep ball connection pretty much every week, and we've pretty much got that every week. It has not been necessarily highlight reel 70 yards, but we're hitting those 40, 50, maybe what a 35 to 50-yard bombs, one or so a game, and that's what we're looking at. What we wanted to see, now we're seeing it. Yeah.
Like this time last year, we just figured out who's going to be the starter like a week ago. So like now, we got healthy JJ, understand, just more confidence, and then you hit on the head. Like you gotta run that rock, guys, establish that line of scrimmage, and just really. The time you guys get like Corum start getting rolling, a little bit. I do like how they're using Edwards, in the slot out the backfield through I love the play, through put him like a jet sweep and through like a forward, little shuffle pass. Took it just, 10, 15. Like he got some I think we're going to just really kind of start to see like these guys get going too. So
I'm looking, and I think we have to lean into that, not to our detriment, but I think we should go in saying, because Blake has got loose a couple of times. As far as running goes, Donovan Edwards been MIA. So I think, and obviously we know what he can do because he's such a home run guy. I mean, we can those same 7 carries in a game, he could pop one of those for 40 yards. I get that, but I think just leaning into that, kind of getting in the O-line's head as far as, hey, you need to establish this Donovan. You want to win offensive line unit award for the 3rd year in a row, because it's whether it is or not, it's not looking that way. That's the kind of the message I would be sending to the team. Defense, I'm not sure when we're going to get some Page back. I'm not sure when he's hopping back on, or Will Johnson even. But we're beginning to get some of our dogs back as far as defense goes, and that's already looking phenomenal. So just a little bit of seasoning on top of that would be great.
As long as the defense can just do what they do, I know we'll be able to figure it out, on the offense side of the ball as the season goes. Last year it was kind of like vice versa, but the defense needed to kind of wait. It took them a little bit to wake up and just kind of get rolling. I felt like we didn't really establish a pass rush till week 5. Kind of had trouble against Maryland. So I think I like where the defense is at, how they've been trending starting this year off.
Yeah. I mean, nothing to say bad about the defense. They, like you said, I don't know if you said it's on here or not, but we are all of 25 deep on defense. It's
crazy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so I'm loaded. They're loaded on defense. I don't know. It's kind of. Are we gonna do a score prediction here?
Yeah. We go. I'll let you get to it.
Yeah, let me start. I'm hoping. I'm gonna do an optimistic one. All right, we getting a dub. I believe, obviously we're getting the dub. I believe, knock on wood for us. But I'm gonna go ahead and go optimistic that we're gonna, Harbaugh coming back, statement game. We're gonna look to try to make some noise. So I'm actually gonna probably give a pretty similar score prediction as if we were playing one of the teams we recently played. But I'm gonna go 42. Let me go 42-17.
Okay.
In just a good route. Running backs get busy. Hopefully we throw Orgy in 4th quarter. And one of those type of games. Bottle up their quarterback. I mean, obviously he can get loose a little bit, but 51% completion percentage, that's not scaring nobody. Just slowly apply them vice grips to them, and that offense should shatter, fall apart. A couple turnovers, things of that nature, and then a route will begin.
Oh yeah. I'm with you. I honestly like a similar score. I was gonna say like 41-14. I feel like from what I really saw from Rutgers, they look pretty one-dimensional. Obviously, the quarterback, can run the ball pretty well. I think that will just kind of stop that pretty quick, and turn them one-dimensional. And yeah, I think we'll just capitalize off of a couple turnovers here and there and just really be able to I think like I said, things will be a statement game. So I think it's going to be, pretty like two, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, ain't nothing better than Michigan football at high noon on Saturday. So,
Yep.
no, I agree. And then, I think we should just transition to the next level here. That'd be our dear Detroit Lions.
Yep.
Just due to we'll call it a scheduling conflict, we didn't recap. I think we did recap Kansas City, or we did not.
We didn't.
Yeah. So, I guess I'll throw it over to you, but sitting there currently 1-1. This weekend we play the Falcons, sitting at a surprise 2-0. It's kind of just, I guess what were your thoughts on kind of going down in Kansas City, spoiling ring night, and then circling the block back and throwing, not doing so hot.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I think I'll just say like right off the bat. I mean, we it's always nice to get that first dub. Proud to say that I called close W. I think I called them winning by 3. They ended up winning by 1. So proud of myself for that, having some good faith in them. I don't care who was playing, who wasn't playing. I don't care about none of that.
None of that.
Yeah. But I think what was tough about it was like we were on this like super crazy high. We beat we beat the champs on the road, opening night, just was like got the opportunity to play the spoiler and just really, push them around a bit. I just really I enjoyed how we were just able to really just play physical at the line of scrimmage. Defense was phenomenal. Regardless of who was in, who was out. I mean, granted, they had a lot of errors on their side, but we just did a great job of just keeping Mahomes in check for the most part. He only threw for like 225 yards. I think we got some good pressure on him. Didn't sack him. Might have got him once, but yeah, I mean, I think it was just nice to kind of see a team come in like that with all this momentum. They had every opportunity to fold, and they went out, on a Thursday night and just did the thing. To kick off the season. But yeah, just to kind of roll into this past game. It was just tough, and I just I think we just had like this real bad hangover. The ski mask thing, that kind of popping off a little bit. It sounded cool, like the mentality of it is cool, like just of who kind of brought it to the table, C.J. Gardner-Johnson and everything. But then you and I were talking about this past weekend. It kind of turned to this like goofy little spectacle to where it was just like it's turned to a huge quick fad. It looked a little. I was as a fan, I was kind of embarrassed some of the stuff I seen and how it looked on social media. To be real honest with you, but it is kind of like, but like I respect and love like what C.J. Gardner. You know what I'm saying? Like at least what his message was behind it. It just took on like a weird life of its own, and I don't know. We kind of came out. I feel like offense looks great, but it's tough to take a lot. Offense looks great. We had some pretty bad turnovers, like that turnover in the third quarter. Pretty much right out the gate with blanking on his name, Montgomery.
Montgomery cough it up.
Yeah. And then just some questionable play call on Campbell's side, some questionable clock management that we'll definitely dive a little bit more into here as we go along. But weird, it's kind of just weird to lose like that. It's pretty deflating. And then you lose a lot of guys to injury in the process, sent two key guys on IR, rest of the season for the most part. So we just, you never want to get any injuries, but when the injuries start to pile up in key spots and you lose, it's kind of tough to see how you respond that next game. So we'll see. We're going to see what happens.
Right. Yeah, I guess I'll make a. I'm actually trying to figure out what angle I want to take on this, but I am. So I guess Kansas City is obviously a perennial. I mean, they've been to 5 straight AFC championships. Arguably, not even arguably, the best quarterback in football right now. And so whenever you can knock them off, that means something, especially particularly down in Arrowhead, which is damn near impossible to win down there. So I will tip my hat to them. They had a pretty good game plan. And I mean, we got the dub, so you can't say anything bad about getting the dub. 1 point win, 3-0. Who cares? So,
Yep.
I guess the one thing I will say, just to kind of play devil's advocate to my own self, there is, I will begin to wonder how much of a difference it make that Travis Kelce was out. That old boy had 4
Yeah.
drops. That, you know, we weren't guarding them well. They were actively shooting themselves in the foot. You know, like, and that's one of those things where I think that guy had to drop the final drive of theirs that would have put him in field goal range. And
Good
then
point.
that's one of those things where it's like, you know, our defensive scheme wasn't handling it. They were taking care of themselves. They were self-checking for us.
Mm-hmm.
And that, how many times can you bank on somebody having 4 drops? Not that often. Not even a team. 4 drops in a game for a team would be a lot.
Yeah.
So no, that's kind of just to play devil's advocate with myself here. That made me sit back. I was thinking that then. I was happy about the win, but I'm thinking that then. You know, just alarming. Not alarming. Just a little red flag that kind of stood out to me. Rolled into this week, we kind of talked about it. I thought we were going to have more of a, kind of like a revenge mentality. They ran it up on us last year. Like what, 500 something total yards,
Like 48, 45 or something. Yeah.
embarrassment. So I don't know. I would say I kind of thought we were going to approach the game differently, and then I don't know how far we're going to get into this. I'm just really questioning some of the things we're doing, like
Yeah.
just high level, like Jahmyr Gibbs. You took the 12th pick on him, and you're not featuring him in any way, shape, or form. He's not looking like a dynamic player. You're making it look like
now.
Yeah. And I hope that, and he's going to be thrown into the spotlight, I don't have a doubt that I guess I'm not sure what we see yet, but he's definitely a strong runner. Could he be your feature back? I'm not sure yet, but just now that Montgomery went down, a high paid running back that we took, obviously injuries happen. You don't wish upon nobody. They don't want them to happen to themselves, obviously, but it happened.
Yeah.
Dropped 10 million on him. He's out. We got a guy that may or may not be our feature back. Defense has made many holes in it pre-injuries. Now you begin to drop the injury bug throughout the team. I'm not sure what squad is even going to show up there. What the team would look like. Minus Houston, minus Gardner Johnson. Yeah. Minus your feature back in Montgomery, who actually I don't want to. I'm just I'm sounding like the most pessimist in the world here, but I looked at stats up, and I remember we talked about when we signed him how he only averaged like 4 yards a carry in Chicago, and we said because he was running behind nobody. Well, now he averaging 3.8 yards a carry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just all things that I'm like, what team is going to show up this week? The team that beat the Super Bowl champs, or the team that lost to the Seattle Seahawks? What?
Oh, for sure.
And I don't know. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough to say. I never wanted to get high anyway, but I started drinking the Kool-Aid, and then now it's come back to bite me. So I don't know.
No, I'm with you. I think I'm trying to and I'm trying to be a little tad more optimistic. I'm trying to look more at like they did shoot themselves in the foot, but against Kansas City when we were playing Kansas City, they were shooting themselves in the foot quite a bit. But I'm also they let the tackle line up off sides the entire game. It's week 1, this is like I think I said a couple of times just, earlier this season or the summer, they put us there for a reason because they thought that they was going to be able to 35-7 us and have a glorious, start to the season because of what happened to the Rams when they let Buffalo walk in there and, hang like 35 on them. Yeah, so I just I think they put us in a spot to fail, and I was just but no, I mean, I see what you're saying. There's a lot of, Mahomes is being Mahomes. That's one thing where I'm we did dodge a few bullets there, but I think we did do a great job of keeping them very uncomfortable, throughout the game. And but yeah, no, I mean, I'm with you though. I think, it's tough. Some of them injuries I will say with Gardner Johnson, at least we had Tracy Walker. He's a starter. We just paid him, early last year. Fortunately, had that Achilles. So hopefully he's had some time. He hasn't played, a whole lot with Gardner Johnson just kind of
Yeah.
it was signing him. So I at least like our chances with that. What that looks like. You're plugging in a former starter. But yeah, it's tough. He's got the secondary look banged up already. We got the dude Mosley. He paid him 1 year deal. CJ Gardner Johnson 1 year deal. They're looking like them looking like he's running a couple lemons at this point. I
Yeah.
hate it sucks that people get injured. That happens, but Gardner Johnson, he might be back. They're saying maybe end of the season playoffs.
Yeah.
And Mosley, granted this is where I'm like, I'll try to like kind of reel it back in a second, but it's only week 3. But we got a guy come off an ACL, having a hamstring injury, knee injury, might have had another procedure, a month ago. The secondary looking a little shaky, and then the D line, I'm concerned. I'll be at 100.
Yeah.
Like we I think we definitely did a good job against Kansas City, but this run the ball not really their identity. I feel like we did have some trouble. Obviously, we talked about the O-line, the thing with their O-line, and kind of letting them cheat the entire game. But besides Hutch, like nobody's even giving any pressure to even like let him get there. Like
Yep.
nobody. I mean, Gino's like Mahomes. You know what Mahomes is? Like Mahomes, Superman. He best player in the league. But like Geno Smith was looking like Vic in some of them situations on Sunday with 2 O linemen out. But I got to tip my cap to them because they was leaving tight
Great
ends
game
in,
plan.
double
Yeah.
teaming, play action crazy, running them drags and tight ends. They was picking us apart. Like they got out coached immensely. But like at the end of the day, though, I think that D line, that is something where there's some red flags there. Linebacking core was looking a little lost. Anzalone still looking lost.
Do you think still? Do you think it's potentially they showed I don't even think you need a blueprint to beat this defense because of how bad it is. But you think they potentially exposed something that additional teams can use as far as I think they played an interesting game plan for me. Like that's not how I thought they were, particularly coming off of last year where they were looking like an air raid offense. I just wonder, I think they showed that you can kind of single out our linebackers with the tight ends, like you pointed out to me via text. I think they showed if you send like the additional chipper, the additional tight end or whatever, running back over to Hutch's side, ain't nobody else over here can do nothing.
Yeah.
The only other person they had was Houston, and he's out. So they're damn near gonna have 3 linemen focused on Hutch.
Yeah, 3 or 4 linemen already out, like hurt. Yeah, like he got bad quick.
Pascal. Yeah. So
yep.
you're gonna look at that line and say, okay, we got to worry about Hutch. That's about it. So
if I was Atlanta,
pick on these tight ends or pick on these linebackers with these tight ends.
Play action.
Focus on oh my God, the cornerback Jerry Jeudy. Just single his ass out.
I think 14 catches, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So I mean, I know he hasn't. I don't know. They got Kyle Pitts can get loose on us at the tight end.
Yeah.
I think they got a couple of pieces there. And I know he hasn't been quite the splash that everybody thought he would be, but
what I was about to say about that game, perfect transition, was like this is one of the matchups where it's like, all right, like both of y'all been picking in the top 10 about the last 7, 8, about 5 to 6 years. Like who's drafted is better. Like this is really one of those matchups where we got the best of them in the past, but they've had some down years just like we have, but they retooled. They got freaking nature at tight end, running back look crazy. I saw so much video of him running through the Packers defense, which like real quick, I love how NFC North is looking pretty bad, so that's why I still kind of like our chances. But we'll talk about that another later date. But they got Drake London on the outside. That was somebody that I was real high on, out of the draft that year. First guy drafted in that draft. He started the line of wide receivers, and we got JMO. But yeah, it's really an solid defense. I like their coach. It's going to be a real big time test that we got.
I agree. And big time test. And I think you made a good point as far as who's drafted well. And I was going to say that, and just be honest, like I guess over the time I had forgot that we traded back in the draft and passed on Bijan Robinson. And I guess that kind of fell out of my mindset. And just to circle back and then drafted running back So I mean, like it's kind of great. My man has 200 rushing yards already.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so we traded back and passed on Bijan Robinson, who I've heard 3 or 4 times this week that people are saying he's a top 5 running back in the NFL already, and we passed on Jalen Carter. So I don't know what the hell we're doing here when we got the worst defense in the league, and we're signing dudes off the Jets practice squad. Like what like for running back? It's I don't know. That's just a bizarre shit that I feel like we do week in and week out. And then
It doesn't make no sense.
and then Drake London, I just looked. I forgot where he went in the draft, but my man, he had 72 catches and 900 yards last year. We can't even get Jamo on the field. So I don't know.
It's looking tough.
And I'm not even just trying to be super like I kind of am, I guess, but that's just my honest opinion. Like we go and lose this stuff. Like we are sitting at 1 and 2, and then what we gonna do? Like it's
I feel you. I think what's just keeping me afloat at this point. I'm just like it's we just walk into week 3. Week 3 starts tomorrow. Like that's the only thing that's got me like, we 1-1. We stole W's that will help. We stole a W that will help us because Kansas City about to hang 50 on.
They're gonna run.
Yeah, we like it's gonna be a like we are making some questionable things. Like so that D line, we already know that was a flop. We had 2 opportunities to get, I think, some like real big time change, like game changers at that spot in the first round. And but now it's like we got Gibbs against Robinson this weekend. Like who gonna can we get Robinson on the ground so he's not dancing through the secondary like he was doing Green Bay, and then can we let Jahmyr Gibbs, anybody can hold back now. He got to, let's get him 20 touches, get 100 buck 20.
I think that should be the goal, is around 20 touches. Like, and obviously play it by, if he's 12 carries in with 28 yards, obviously let's not keep pushing it to him. But I think he's one of them guys that needs to get in a rhythm. If he's going to be good, I think he needs to get in a rhythm. He needs to get the touches. He needs, a la Reggie Bush, a la whatever. You couldn't have gave Reggie Bush 6 carries and expect him to do something. He needs 10, 12, 15 because 11 of them are going to be for 3 yards. And then the other 4 are going to be for 65 yards. So I think that's the kind of player he is.
Get him rolling.
Like get him in space, screen plays. That shame shovel pitch that we just did with Donovan Edwards. Just find ways to get him the ball.
Yeah. He did drop that slant up the field and he was in the slot.
And yes. And that's, and if he don't got the talent, then that's back to the other issue of why we drafted.
Right.
But I think we gotta see what he has, because it makes no sense to draft him and not use him.
Right.
On paper, we look like phenomenal. When you look at JMO and St. Brown and why do we keep blanking on Montgomery? It's like a weird name. Montgomery.
Yeah. To the team.
Just used to Jamal Williams, but just one of those things where it's like, I don't know. I think, and I guess just to put a bow tie to all of this, you pointed out how bad I sent you to think about the amount of snaps players had, and how just our linebackers getting burned, and the guy that we drafted is supposed to be a coverage linebacker ain't playing. So it's just, I don't know, bro.
I think it's got a little tight and started like kind of pulling the, I think it's got, I think it's how that game unfolded. Them 3 turnovers got us bad, and now it's like, okay, like we the honeymoon phase is over. Like I think the jury's still out on Campbell, but I do like something that he said today, just of like things are back to normal now. It's gloomy and dark on the outside. Now we're gonna go back in here and work. Like, they got a hell of a victory to start things off. Took a nosedive. Sucks we lost some guys in the process, but I just, that D line better look a lot differently. But they got to find ways to start getting pressure on these quarterbacks here real quick. So real test this weekend. Like I said, it's gonna be the battle of like the couple teams been living in the top 8, top 10 for the last 3 to 5 years. So we're gonna really see what's going on.
Yeah, it's fun to put it to test. See, like you said, who drafted better, who got
And I'll say this real quick. Shout out to Goff, Jared Goff. however we want to like play with him from here on out. I mean, I'll say that I hope that, stuff start getting a little dicey around him. I hope that he don't, he can still just,
Yeah.
do what he does. But
And I
I
and
do.
I haven't even brought up him because I wouldn't say. I mean, obviously we don't want to pick six, but he played a good game. Other than that pick six, that was his first interception in Lord knows how long. I'm not getting on him yet.
350 attempts.
I'm not getting on him yet. But I mean, like you said, he seemed one of them guys when things are riding good, he's a front runner. When things are good, he's good. When things start to get bad, he's one of the first to crumble. He needs a running back with 1,000 yards and 18 touchdowns in the backfield in order for him to give you slightly above mediocre quarterback play. That's that's the and we knew that the whole time. So I think as a fan base, if he reverts back to the mean of an average quarterback, we can't then be like, ah, damn, like because we knew he was a rental from the beginning. He just played way above his potential for 9 games last year. And it's kind of my honest opinion, but I ain't got on him yet. You put 3-4 of these, you start throwing a pick every game, pick 6 every other, then we can start to play fingers. But right now, I think he's one of our least of our issues.
He stayed out the way. I mean, he's not, and I like how he really was keeping us in the mix, even with that pick 6, that fumble by Montgomery. I just like how he was showing up. But yeah, we'll see just with the starting guard out. I like how they were able to put Sewell at left tackle, blind side, you know what I'm saying? Like there's some stuff there that's good. So we'll just, hopefully he can just kind of help right the ship, and we can, because 2-1 going, that'll they can just keep, it's week to week. They can try to find a way to squeeze one out. Pause. I'll be this call feel a lot better.
So, do you think? And this is off the rail a little bit, but do you think Sewell ultimately moves to left tackle for us?
I think they go. I mean, I think it's going to be kind of a wrap for Decker. Like he can. Yeah, I just
and they go get
play both.
Yeah, and they go get a mid-second round dude next year to fill out right tackle.
I mean, I would. Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know how much Decker got left on his contract. He's a solid player. It just sucks that he's always like hurt. I mean, it's like he get hurt, 10 days off, still not. It's just like it just kind of sucks. But I do like that. Like it's nice we got a guy that can play. Right tackle, left tackle. That is going. I mean, that's protecting that blind side. That's going to be a good part in just keeping this all together.
100%. And the whole we don't got to get into this, but that payday he going to demand from us in about a year.
Yeah. I don't be mad. I don't even be mad, honestly. Like if we would do something along, because I think we are going to end up doing some of the trade deadline. I think we gotta like we look a lot more thin. I mean, hopefully JMO can like give us a shot in the arm, but like when Amon-Ra St. Brown got a little banged up, I'm looking like Reynolds is solid, but we got Khalid Freeman, I'm like, I ain't seen him offense since like started last year. Like I don't, but like I said, we'll
for sure. And I know we talked about just being thin in the run and the receiver room and how we thought that might be a Gibbs role. We hadn't seen that yet, but I don't know if he can do that now with the running back injury. So you might have to go pick somebody up. You might, and you send me a list of the 89 players we sent in to try to come take a look at. I mean, I would love to see that from every team. That looked like a abnormal amount of players. That looked like.
That is interesting. Just to kind of like, you had a lot of guys. I'd love to see that. Yeah, just exactly what you said. It's like 3 to 5 guys per maybe 6 or 7 different positions.
Yeah.
So
right. That looks like
injuries.
That looks like that looks like what they said. These are all the guys coming to camp in May. That looks like what that was.
Yeah.
And no, I was like, I've never seen that. Normally they're like, we're bringing in 2 guys, see what they can do.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we're having tryouts.
And I'll say too, and this is kind of what happened. First, second week of NFL, a lot of guys are getting banged up. Everybody has a similar issue. So I'm sure I ain't really start looking at Atlanta stuff quite yet, but I'm sure they got a guy or two that might not be playing just because whatever it looked like.
Yeah. And it happens. It happens and we need to acknowledge it, but it's not an excuse because like you said, that happens week in and week out. And we talked about that last year when we were a little banged up. And I was like, these is when you got to steal the victories when you're healthy because the injury bug is going to come. And
Mhm.
just like when you play a team that's beat up is when you got to capitalize because you just got
Yeah.
to kick them out or down.
Right.
Yeah. So I agree, and that's probably what they're telling everything. They're probably saying, "Hey, these mugs are
Yeah.
beat the hell up right now. They don't got a running back. They don't, like
Hmm.
they got a D line. They don't got,
But now, can we be Seattle and just like do what they did to us? They had two old tackles out. Like I hope
yeah,
we took a good look at some film and find ways to like make sure
make
we
adjustments
some of
and
these
yeah,
holes where we got guys out.
for sure. Yeah, no, I think and we've said we did this practically every week last week with the Lions, but I do think this is once again the another big week in the year. Like I
Mhm.
think the fan base at 1-2 and 2-1 are night and day. I
Yep.
think play Green Bay after this. You really don't want to go with
Thursday
Green Bay.
night.
Yeah, you don't want to go with Green Bay Thursday night, short week at 1-2. You know,
No.
and that's a quick roll to 1-3. In which case, your season is, you're fighting behind 8 ball like you did all last year.
Hmm.
So I think this is one of those. You got to get another win under your belt. Get that. That'll put you at least 50% for the first month of the year. Something
Hmm.
positive to look at. And hopefully we can begin to get some answers as far as Gibbs and running back, or I can't even. I'm blanking on my man who he signed. That he spent. I think he had like 300 yards for the Jets last year.
Oh,
But
Donovan Knight.
yeah, down at night.
Oh,
Or whether he can get busy for us a little bit, or is it going to be, the golf show? I think we got to answer a couple of questions as far as what we even look like now.
for sure.
Yeah. So not completely
Yeah.
giving up, but I'm just
Right.
expressing my honest opinion as far as
Oh,
like
right. I mean, you hit
it.
a lot of it on
It's
the
hard for
head.
me to, when I'm invested in this, when I'm invested in this shit week in and week out, I just feel
Yeah,
like got to be real as far as like
for sure.
they're misdrafted players. I'm gonna come out and say it.
Yes.
If you wanted a running back, you should have drafted the best running back in the draft. And this is going to be a dude that's probably going to rush for 100 yards on us this week. We're happy our dude is going to get 10 touches. It's that type of shit is bizarre.
Yeah.
And I'm rooting for Gibbs. I want him to be Alvin Kamara. I want,
Yeah.
that's a thing, but I think um, players come to play and you see the ones that hit the ground running. Right? Guys on runners and hit the ground running. No,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah.
running backs typically do. Running backs typically hit the ground. It's not a much of a learning curve. They've been doing that since they were fourth grade. It's
Right.
you know,
Yeah. Not. There's another interesting aspect to it. Brad Holmes went down to the Texas Bama game, saw both of them there, and felt that Gibbs was a better. So we like now we haven't seen him to this point. Now we're gonna see this weekend.
yeah,
Like it's just such a
100%.
perfect opportunity to just I'm just curious to see how they're gonna respond.
Yeah,
I'm just very curious to see how they're gonna respond. You want to give a score prediction?
I will. I'm gonna pick them to win.
Okay, I am
But
too.
they look this last time I'm picking them to win for a while. So
Okay,
I'm gonna go a close one for us. We'll go 28-24 Lions.
okay, yeah, I'm gonna do. I was right now like 27-24. I think it'll be close. I mean, they're a talented team, but I think I think we just I'm be interested to see what we do. You
Yeah,
know,
I think
have,
the
like
deciding factor.
I mean, one of the biggest highs and the biggest lows. And it's just
Yeah,
like how you gonna come out.
think I think the deciding factor to me really was the fact that it's at home. I think that really swayed me a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
and Desmond Ritter has not
for
looked
now,
great.
I agree. I agree. That's
Because Geno Smith is real deal. Like that.
yeah. Geno Smith's been around the block, been through the fire. Yeah,
Yep.
he's ready to play here. And this guy still, I don't think he's it, but he's in that we'll see phase, I guess. Um,
Hmm.
no, I agree with you on that. But I think uh their running back's legit. Um,
Yeah.
Pitts has
I like the weapons, like the
yeah,
receivers, the tight end. Like they ain't really been getting used the right way yet, but I think
no,
they got some guys that you definitely got to account for.
right. Yeah. I didn't realize Pitts had 1,000 yards for a year. But
Yeah, solid.
yeah, yeah. In my head, he has not done that yet. So yeah, no, he can definitely get busy on. He can, uh, Yeah. So no, I agree. Somewhere in that 28-24 range.
Mhm.
You know, I think, but that's contingent on Gibbs getting loose, Hutch getting rid of the ground all the time. You
Mhm.
know, um, and then probably doing a little bit of Dan Campbell things. I imagine we're going to try to get back to. He's going to continue to, aggressiveness, because at this point you might as well go for it, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's when we're most dangerous. It looks like it's when we have nothing to lose. Because
Mhm.
that's when he seems to be the best. Now, if every game was an elimination game, we might go undefeated. But it's it's when you kind of have the momentum that he
Gotta
doesn't
beat
know
the
how to
teams
play.
that,
Yeah,
yeah. Gotta beat the ones
it's
that you gotta beat the ones that matter. And he's able to do it here and there a little bit last year. So it's like now, you know,
consistency. Yeah,
consistency and like just continue to get better at the time management, clock management.
for sure. Yeah, no, I mean we'll see. I'm riding with the Lions, man.
Oh yeah,
I
no,
want them to be good, bro. That's where the anger comes from.
100%. We gotta we gotta stop getting in our own way, because especially because this is what happens. Like injuries start to roll in and creep in, and they're like, I mean, you gotta address. Which I just say this, which would address some other areas. And it's looking like that's still an Achilles heel that they thought they already had taken care of, but you can lose a guy like that, but that just goes. And the point I've made on here a couple times, you got the Eagles had 70 sacks last year and had like literally like 9 guys in rotation.
Yep.
San Francisco 49ers do the same exact thing. So I just hope we learn our lesson and maybe make a splash at the trade deadline or something. We'll
Yeah,
all see in due time.
yeah, one of the biggest battles you have to win, or one of the biggest things of football in general, is like the war of attrition. People are going to go
Yeah,
down.
for
It's
sure.
That's why we all know the phrase "next man up." You know,
Yes.
and I think that's where the GM comes into play. That's where the year, like you said, year after drafting and the right free agents pickups come into play. And I think we still have a lot of question marks here. But we it's not late. It's not too late. We can go here and
Right.
wash this team up. But I think we gotta come with that game plan here. Stop being afraid to use the players that we drafted.
Right.
Yeah, it's time to put up. That's kind of
Yeah.
my opinion on that.
For
Well,
sure,
good.
man.
You got anything else for the peoples?
All I got. I will be back back in next week or so to just talk through what the outcome is from the Falcons game, and then talk on the Packers game, another divisional matchup.
Yes, sir.
Till next time. Peace.
Peace.